Start with Deanna Lee Insignato! There she is! Right here, yeah. Put your hands together, guys, please, for Mr. Matthew Wood! Next up, please, Katie Sackhoff! How about Simon Castianides, everybody? Put your hands together for Miss Emily Swallow!
Take notes. I got this. Who's got this?
And last but certainly not least, guys, please, Mr. Sam Whitworth!
The hell?
Nothing to see over here.
We're all good.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
You worn out from your rave last night?
It was crazy. It was really crazy.
All right. Well, welcome to Dragon Con, everybody. How are you guys doing? Thank you.
Why do we have papers here? Are we going to have to take a test?
Yeah, we were wondering, do we have to take notes?
Like a
There
debate.
will be a pop quiz at the end of this.
All right,
okay?
I thought so.
Is this Jeopardy?
I'm ready.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do, guys. We want to have a great dialogue with you guys and let you guys ask as many questions as we can fit into this hour. I'm going to be taking them on Discord as well. So we're going to kind of flip-flop back and forth between a live question and a Discord question. But I'll start the first question by saying, in just a couple of words, what was your first impression of Dragon Con when you guys got here? Have you guys been out and about? Have you guys seen? Have you been doing some stuff?
I put a video up. I was like, wow, I've never been here before. I'm like, the energy is just infectious. It's incredible.
Party?
Yeah.
Next year I'm going to the Bunny Hutch. I'm already in my mind planning it, and I'm cosplaying the crap out of it. Simon's coming with me.
We've discussed. My first time in Atlanta, Georgia. You guys are awesome, very friendly, very approachable, and just lovely.
I'm just looking forward to a very quiet, subdued weekend.
Yeah,
Get
good
a lot of
luck.
rest. It's very low-key.
Me and Matt got pizza last night. What was the name of the place, Matt?
Oh, I'll get it. I have to write it down, but I'll get it.
Whatever it was.
Let's give it a promotion. It's gonna.
Yeah, no, we should. Buy him time.
Yeah, can you stall? Do you know any physical comedy or anything?
No, Dole's.
Dope?
This is a great promotion.
This sucks.
Dolo's Pizza Company on Lower Alabama Street. Amazing.
That place was
Really great.
amazing. Yeah.
What kind of pizza did you get? What are your toppings of choice?
We got a black pesto, tomato
With spinach.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good.
I like
He's
it.
on me cookies after on scooters.
Black
It was
pesto and
amazing.
olives. Is that why it's black?
No olive. I don't know. It wasn't particularly black. It was pizza colored.
It was.
I like your shirt, Sam.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
George Lucas represent.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get our first audience question. You guys are ready for some questions?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who do we have back here, guys? We have any questions?
That's it.
Nobody.
Great.
We have somebody up here in disability services that I'm coming up to.
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, real cool, man.
Hey, nice cosplay.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Yes.
My question is for you, Emily. Those that follow you on social media know you actually cosplay your character for conventions
I don't know what you're talking about.
and,
Never me.
and surprise fans all the time. What's your favorite story for surprising fans?
Oh, there's so many. I mean, I think my favorite was still the first time though, because I was at a convention in somewhere in Ohio, Cleveland. I don't remember if it was Cleveland or Cincinnati. And some friends who were part of the 501st there had the idea for me to 501st. Had the idea for me to come out with them like before the convention opened because they were basically there to like keep up morale. You know, everyone was in their cosplay. And so I was talking to people, and like there was a guy who I said, who are you going to get an autograph from? And he said, I'm going to get Emily Swan. I was like, well, I could sign it for you now. And he was like, oh, that's funny. But then the best moment was when, like, the big reveal, I take off my helmet, and half the people are like, oh my gosh, and the other half are like, who's that? Because they didn't know what I looked like. So that was like the perfect mix of like, oh, I feel special, and I also feel very humbled, and that's good.
Did you have to kill everybody after that for honor and shame or anything? Or you
Of course.
your helmet off?
Yeah. No, there's fine print in the creed.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Not many people read the fine print, but I do. So I know when I can take it off.
All right, we got a question here on Discord from Zosimus. Are they already in here? No? All right. It says, this is a question for Emily. Are you jealous that Katie gets to take her helmet off? But all the other Mandalorian actors have to keep theirs on.
Ask who has to spend more time in hair and makeup. And let me also tell you what happens when Katie is in her helmet and then has to take it off in a scene. Because you know Bo-Katan has perfect hair. But the only reason is because she takes the helmet off, we have to pause filming, someone has to come in and fix the hair and smooth it because it's like a giant afro, and then she holds it so it looks like she is just taking it off, and then we resume filming again.
I mean, wouldn't that, if in real life,
It's really easy to stay in
all the Mandalorians would just be like, hey man, you know, like, basically what happened was during the Mandalorian Wars, like, the hair product shipments got cut off, and so they were like, dude, we have to keep the helmets on.
My hair does not change in any way, shape, or form, weather, nothing. This is it. I wake up like this, I go to bed like this.
And you wonder why he's a
Oh, sorry. Go.
That's how we got
Now I know why, even though my audition wasn't great,
shit.
I was kind.
Sorry.
He has the hair.
Malfunction.
Hi, my name is Eternal Zan, and it's great to see everybody. Katie, I've recently started listening to your podcast, The Sack Off Show. It's amazing.
Yes. Awesome.
Thank you. And my question for anyone on the panel who wants to answer is, when you learned you were cast in Star Wars, who was the first what was your reaction, and who was the first person you told?
Ooh, we're not allowed to tell anyone.
Yeah.
So no one told anyone.
It's like,
To
yeah.
this day, I've told nobody.
See, I had an experience where my buddy David Collins, who we've been working on Star Wars stuff together forever, me and Matt Wood and David Collins, he snuck my headshot into the pile, so he told me that I had the part. So he literally calls me up, he's like, hey, so yeah, how'd your audition go today? I'm like, I think it went really, it's gonna be you. Oh! Okay, cool.
All right. And let's, this is from Curie Simone? Yeah, right over there. Woohoo. Sam, he would like you to tell the story about how you out-geeked David Filoni on your first day.
Oh no. Okay, here's look. What, Matt, you want to say something?
No, I'm just saying turn off the cameras.
Turn off the cameras. No one film this. This is between you and me, right?
Can I check? Are we texting this to Dave?
Not a problem.
Go.
Hey Dave, you're on FaceTime.
I got you.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, you've got it on FaceTime.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah.
For the record, they asked me to tell this. I'm contractually obligated by Dragon Con to tell this story. Okay, so I show up and I'm a brand new voice actor, and my only experience really was in like on camera stuff, didn't know what I was doing in front of a mic, feeling very insecure, and there's the hat guy that everyone is sitting to know. Oh, it's that hat guy that's in charge of Clone Wars, because at that point that's what we called him, hat guy. And he was wearing the hat, and there was a scene in the Mortis trilogy where Anakin Skywalker, the ghost of Shmi Skywalker, appears to Anakin. And it's this shocking moment, and and Anakin reunited with the ghost of his mother. That's a big deal. And Matt Lanter delivers this lovely performance, and he does it a few times. He goes, I have a wife. I want you to meet her, Mom. And he does it again. I have a wife. I want you to meet her. And it's just these beautiful performances. And the whole time, I'm just like getting more and more. The anxiety is building because I'm the new kid, but I'm like, I've got to say something. What do? I've got to say something. Okay. And then they were like, Dave's like, all right, great, moving on. I'm like, yeah, new guy. Shmi and Padme met in Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace, 1999. And hat guy goes, hat down. Hat covering the face. And he just kind of goes like this, and he just goes, yeah, of course they did. Because he had, he was like low on sleep. These guys are going and going and going. This was something that absolutely would have been caught. But that was, I think, Dave's first indication of like, uh-oh, nerd alert, And so at that point, I'm standing there, and have I done something wrong? I'm not really sure. And I look over, everyone's looking at me, and I look over at Ashley, and she goes, I've never seen anyone outgeek Dave Filoni before. Now, he avenged himself many times and outgeeked me on many, many occasions, so.
I think it was a test, Sam, and that is now why you have Maul Shadow.
Exactly. I'm almost positive about it.
All right, we ready for another question back over here?
With a fandom as deep and a lore as deep as Star Wars has, how has your preparation as an actor differed between your Star Wars roles and your non-Star Wars roles?
I was very lucky in my earlier, I grew up in a martial arts family, so when it came to the fight scenes, I was prepared to do them. But luckily, because of my aunt being an actress, I had familiarity with stage, and I used to do some Shakespeare. And so that's what I tapped into more, was my theater background, even though I studied with other acting coaches. And I was just happy just to get the opportunity to just play in the sandbox. And to be honest with you, I'm still stunned to this day that I got a call out of the blue, because it was Dave Filoni that discovered me through the internet, through Google. And so I was just lucky that I had the honor of being able to just audition. I never thought in a million years that I would be up on a stage with these amazing folks. And so really, thank you. Yeah, they're amazing. So stage.
We're going to go down the line on that one? Sure. So I grew up at Lucasfilm. I've been there since I've been a teenager, so I had this sort of ethos put into me from George Lucas of, we're not really pigeonholed into one job, and try your best to express yourself to make the story something better and bigger. And I've just kind of taken that with me to every project I've gone. And luckily, where I work at Skywalker Sound, people come to us at Skywalker Ranch for that same kind of feeling. And I get lucky to be able to do that on any project I work on. I just did the Fantastic Four movie. I just played the droid Herbie. And it was Kevin Feige and Matt Shackman, the director. They were saying, we want something that's in somewhere between WALL-E, which I worked on, and Star Wars, which I worked on. So I had to sort of find a Venn diagram of where that is and where that sweet spot is. And I gave them a whole bunch of options, and they liked it. But it was just nice to know that someone came to us for that type of work. And so it is kind of the same feeling across any genre that I'm working in. Yeah.
Bo was a little different for me than any other character, just because I've been playing her for so long, and I've spent, 10, 15 years picking Dave's brain about who Bo is and who she was when she was a young girl and what her family life was like and what her relationship with her sister was like. And so I have all of this stuff already in my head before Mandalorian. And so it was almost backwards, where I had to learn her physical movements after I knew so much about her. And I usually that usually comes hand in hand for me. I do that all at the same time. But this was a very, very different, almost backwards thing where I was like, oh God, I don't know how she moves. Like, it was never me. It was always animated Bo. Like, what does her face do? Like, it was very strange.
I asked Katie about everything. I auditioned for the role. I had no idea that it was for a Mandalorian. It wasn't specified. It was just meant to be a guest spot in one episode. And when they revealed, Shauna, our costume designer, when she revealed that it was Mandalorian, I cried, and she was like, "That's what everyone does." Like, a very special reaction. I was like. And then I got to set and realised how out of my depth I was with the lore, and Katie was there talking with Dave about everything, and I was just so scared, man. I was like, I don't know what they're talking about, things and planets, and it was a geek fest. And I just went, Katie, I'm new, and she said, yes, I know, you're the most excited person in the room. And I said, yeah, you're really going to have to help me here, and she did, so thank you.
I'm trying to think back now. I'm really grateful that I had some very specific things to focus on that had nothing to do with Star Wars, so that I didn't ever feel too overwhelmed by the depth of the canon and how much I didn't know. And I was so glad that we had Dave there when we were shooting the first few episodes, so I knew like anything that I was uncertain about, especially with a character who is supposed to be the keeper of these traditions, I could just ask him. But I was really excited to tap back into doing some mask work, because I hadn't gotten to do that for many, many years, and I'd only ever done it on stage. And it was really fun for me to kind of use these other skills. Like, I feel like as an actor, you're constantly working on things, and you never really know if they're gonna serve you. You kind of just trust that they will at some point. And so for me, the armor was definitely this wonderful confluence of prep that I'd done years ago, not knowing, like I didn't know when I was doing mask work in theater school that I would get to be on a Star Wars TV show. But I had that skill set, and a lot of, similar to what Diana said, a lot of the work I've done on Shakespeare was very helpful with picking apart this very complex, flowery text that the armor sometimes gets into. So I was glad to have those different tent poles that I could focus on, so that I didn't have to be completely overwhelmed by how much I didn't know and still don't know. I feel like there's still like so many tentacles to this universe, and I'm constantly learning new things from you guys, and it's just an endless treasure trove. It's kind of rad.
These are amazing answers, but I didn't hear the question. I love what people are saying, though. This is great.
How do you prepare for Star Wars roles versus non-Star Wars roles?
I just try to be prepared, and
Are you not usually prepared?
no, never prepared. It's a good thing that I got swallowed up by theater school, because I learned a bunch of skills that came in handy. Funny enough, my voice and speech teacher, I haven't been able to connect with him yet, but he reached out after I did a Michael Rosenbaum podcast talking all about the character voices and the Star Wars stuff and stuff like that, and I know he's a science fiction fan. So my Juilliard voice and speech teacher, I'm assuming, is going to get a hold of me to say, "You're doing it wrong." So there's my preparation. But no, it was, the thing that I try to do, and what we're trying to do with Maul Shadowlord, is like, make it about anything but Star Wars, kind of. And then make it Star Wars, right? Do a story about something that we all understand, something that we feel, but then place it in a galaxy far, far away. That's what we're trying to do there. So that's the kind of preparation. We lots of conversations about, I can't tell you what, but certain personal relationships that we would all understand. That's. Am I fired yet?
Yeah, no, good.
6-year-old me is I'm just sitting here listening to you guys bugging because everybody in this room wanted to be a part of the Star Wars universe when we were growing up, and you guys did it. It's amazing. So, all right. Guidance said to Katie and Sam, "So say we all."
So say we all.
He also wants to know how much of your Battlestar Galactica experiences helped you to transition into your Star Wars universe.
That's a good one.
Oh my gosh. I think every job you have that precedes the job you're in has helped you prep for the job that's coming. Battlestar Galactica was like, you guys, this should be a drinking game. Battlestar Galactica. It was my first time working on, that I can recollect, working on green screen and with like big CGI and tennis balls. Full dialogue to tennis balls, where, you know, I always say now I can act with anything because I've given really great work with a tennis ball. So if Simon wants to go home,
Katie.
I'll be fine. Just kidding. So I think that kind of, I don't want to say shoestring budget because Battlestar had a substantial budget, but it was, I mean, not even $2 million Canadian, I don't think, per episode. And so to learn sci-fi acting and learn that imagination acting and sort of tapping into that childlike, your spontaneity and losing your inhibitions and all of this stuff that's required for actors, but so much in sci-fi. I think that prepped me for Mandalorian, just because, like, you know, there was a line I had during Battlestar Galactica. Shot. That I couldn't forget because I couldn't remember. And it is, "We've got violent decompressions irradiating from the port flight pod." And I had no idea what that meant. But by golly, I said it. And then, when we were shooting a scene for Mandalorian, I had to say, "Pirate King Gorian Shard is captaining a Cumulus-class Corsair carrying a complement of snub fighters." And I understand what that means. So there you go. It helped me.
Amazing. Battlestar Galactica made me the pain in the ass that I am today. Because I had a relatively small role in it, but I was around for a season and some change. I was in part of season 2. And Ron and David Icke felt bad that I hadn't been given too much to do in season 1, so they gave me more to do in season 2, gave me a great death, all this great stuff. But what they did do...
You're doing it wrong with your voice there, sorry.
I had to stop you.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh God, I'm so sorry. What Ron and David did do was encouraged me and other actors, due in no small part to people like Aaron Douglas from Battlestar Galactica. Aaron Douglas would just say things. But the thing was, and what the producers picked up on it, he would come up with dialogue that was really good in certain takes. You're like, what was that? That wasn't in the script, but that was great. Print it, you know. And so David Icke, I remember him telling me, he told me all about Aaron, and he's like, see what Aaron's doing, and do what he does, and make up dialogue. And most of my dialogue in season 1 was made up, and they put it in the episodes. And that made me forever after, on every show I ever did, a complete scourge to the production. Including what we're working on now, where, you know, we have these scripted out lines. I'm like, great, so I'm gonna say whatever. Good luck. You know, and that's all because of Ron Moore and David Icke encouraging their actors to actually have a real stake in the dramatic movement of the piece. You know, so it was really very unusual. Never before nor since have we been encouraged like that to improvise, but it happened on that show.
On Battlestar Galactica.
On Battlestar Galactica. So say we all.
this is mostly for the Mando cast, but anyone who has one. I'm wondering if you can share a story of the late Carl Weathers.
Oh. Who wants to start that? I mean, Carl's son went to my high school, coincidentally, and I remember I met him first at a convention, and I was just going through a breakup, and I was really feeling sad, and we were in some city in Europe where they have a completely preserved ship under mud, and you can go and tour it, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and he knocked on my door, and he was like, we're going down to the ship, and then we went down there, and he took me down, and he just gave me all this life advice about, you know, breakups, relationships, following your dreams, that kind of stuff. And then later on, I got to work with them on Mandalorian, and picked up, he had so much enthusiasm, and he was so happy to be there, and I felt like his energy was completely infectious to everybody around him, and I really am sorry he is gone, and he's a sweet soul. Yeah, that's my recollection.
To me, meeting Carl on set, you know, it was my first, during season 2. So being on the set of Mandalorian was huge for me, being a Star Wars fan, but for me he was always Apollo Creed. And after that, Predator, you know, such iconic roles in my life. And he was very charming, very, just so informed and passionate and kind. And he was like, he spoke to our head of makeup and said, who's that charming man? And she said, oh, he's just British. You know, so I was like, all right, and then he laughed, and it was great. And then I introduced him to my family, and my brother approached him in probably the least cool way all around London, in London when we were all there, and just followed him around, and he was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, he's my brother, please be nice. And he said, okay, so they took a selfie, which my brother cherishes to this moment. And yeah, I just really missed him. I was very upset, obviously, when he passed, so, you know, got the rest of the stuff.
I mean, I didn't get a chance to have the honor to work with Carl, but I just think in these last 3 years, it's been kind of hard because we lost Carl, we lost Ray Stevenson, and we lost Shauna Tropic. And it's kind of hard, you know, because the beautiful thing about, I feel, working with the Star Wars family, whether it's Mandalorian, Ahsoka, you know, Boba Fett, there is kind of this, I call it Ohana spirit, and yeah, you know, what a you know, a loss. I mean, they're going to be missed, all of them, you know.
I just remember so much because I started out being so intimidated by Carl. And I remember, I don't remember what convention it was, but one of the amazing things about these conventions is that we get to know actors that we may or may not have even worked with on set. And I'd done a little bit with Carl at that point, but not much. And I remember like sitting down at a table with him at a convention, and I was just, I think because I had this idea of who he was because of his physical presence and his confidence, he had this childlike curiosity about everything. He never stopped learning. And we geeked out talking about theater. I still remember the moment when I told him I was doing this show in LA, and he looked a little surprised, like he didn't really think I was up to it. He was like, wait, you're in that play? And then we started talking about Shakespeare and talking about theater, and I realized like how wrong I had been, and just, you know, I let myself feel like, oh my gosh, he's Carl Weathers, he's so, like, he's done so much, he doesn't have time to talk to me. He always had time for everyone, and he loved actors, and he loved talking about acting. I mean, he loved life, and he was so robust, and it was very shocking, I think, to all of us that he went when he did, because he seemed so healthy.
I think that's the thing with Carl, that like, even when he was on set, just how full of life he was, and he was always laughing. And I remember, God, we were on a flight to Celebration together, and it was the first time where I told him that from the moment I met him, all I wanted to do is stand behind him and go, it's all in the hips. And he was like, oh, you should have done it. I should have done it, and I never did.
All right, let's go to Jenny Treck. Says, as Mandalorians, what was it like filming the scene when the Great Forge was reignited on Mandalore?
Oh, nice.
Well, actually, shooting it was not that exciting. It felt like high school graduation. It did a little bit, yeah. It did. We were on a sound stage with no real fire.
No real fire, which was
And our like vast crowd was, I don't know, like 40
people.
What was cool about it though was that a lot of the Mandalorian crowd was made up of like kids of our crew members, and like there were a lot of people who had been very important to making the thing that were Mandalorians. But yeah, that was definitely one of those where we were shooting it and then I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
I'd like to use my theatre voice and scream for Mandalore. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Should I do that?
Do it.
For Mandalore! Yeah. By the way, whoever the turn it in. That was awesome fun. Yeah, great. I did have to scream. I had to scream that a lot.
I went on for a long time.
I did. And I ended up having it sounded like I was very raspy for the next few days. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I think Sam and I should say for Dathomir. For Dathomir.
You want to start?
For Dathomir. We're on the outs.
I don't know about you guys, I've got the coolest job in all of Dragon Con, I'm telling you right now. All right, we got another question back here?
Hey guys, this is for anybody up there who wants to answer it. I was just curious, does any of your family enjoy Star Wars, or are they just like, oh yeah, it's okay, whatever? or do you like say you've got kids? Are they excited and telling everybody about it, or whatever? They're just embarrassed by it.
Oh, no, my family loves Star Wars, let me tell you. It was me, when I was a little girl and I first saw Star Wars, and it wasn't called A New Hope, it was just Star Wars. And my dad was doing an international martial arts camp in Colorado, and there was nothing to do on a Saturday night. So the whole town went to this theater, and it was amazing because it was this type of energy. It was just like electric. And the beautiful thing is when we were coming out of the theater after watching, the lightsaber fight scenes between, Darth, and Kenobi. And he goes, can you imagine, honey, if you could do a fight scene with 2 lightsabers? And so my dad used to train me as a little girl with 2 sticks, and then later on he would inevitably buy 2 plastic lightsabers. So he would train me in martial arts. So it's so weird, flash forward to the scene I had to do with Rosario for the Jedi episode. Thank you. I'm on this bridge with Rosario and Dave, and I'm like, I'm having this flashback back to my dad. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this fight scene with a Beskar spear versus 2 lightsabers. So yeah, Star Wars always in my family. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
My mind is like blown right now.
Wow, great. I love those kind of stories. Wow, I love that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, my family loves it. I mean, they took me when I was a kid to the drive-in theater to see Star Wars. Yep. And it just happened to be that it was being made 50 miles west of where we lived, and so I ended up getting a job there, and it was amazing. But my dad still walks around and he's always like, "Say, son, are there any new hats down there at the company store that you can?" Because he loves. A lot of people give comments to all that, like, "Oh, do you work for Lucasfilm?" But, "Oh, my son does." He's very, very proud of that. So I always have to get him a new hat every few years because he wears it out.
My dad raised me on science fiction, so I watched wildly inappropriate movies way too young. Not that Star Wars was inappropriate, but Predator was when you're 6. You know what I mean? But I got to take my dad to set, actually. And he was there when we were storming the bridge, and Luke Skywalker was there. And Luke was not there that day. Dave, I don't know if you guys know the story, but he lied to everyone and said it was Plo Koon, and I believed him because he's Dave, and like, he wouldn't lie to me. Thank you. Anyway, so my dad was so excited, and they made him sign like so many NDAs, and they were like, no, it's fine, like, you know, he doesn't really need. I was like, make my dad sign an NDA. He's got 8,000 friends on Facebook. Like, he grew up in a town of 25. Make him sign an NDA, please. But it was amazing, and my dad was. I think it's the first time in my entire career, and granted I've been working since I was 14, but it was the first time that I think my dad was like, she's gonna be okay.
I grew up with all the toys thanks to my older brother, who just was obsessed with the original trilogy. And so, yeah, me getting it, he was like, no, really? Oh my God, wow, no. I was like, and I'm a Mandalorian, and that was it. He was just like, that was it. He's so happy. And that sort of like permeated through the whole family in terms of, from my brother's obsession with Star Wars. So, yeah, huge deal for the whole family. Still is, always will be.
My nephews really like using it as currency with their friends. But I don't think they've even seen season 3 yet. My brother is my brother's proud of me no matter what I do, but he doesn't really watch much of it. He's very business minded. So he's like, you're working good. Way to go, sis. And then he's like, when are you gonna take off that helmet? Because we need to see your face. You gotta make some money. He doesn't care about the story. But yeah, my nephews, I do remember when I found out I was going to be in season 3, I told my family, and my mom said that my nephew Jones was telling people at school, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to get in trouble. And she was like, at this point he was, I don't know, 8 or 9. She was like, who's going to believe an 8-year-old when they say that their aunt is like in Star Wars? You're fine. I was like, oh, that's true. But you know, we're always in fear of the Disney drone that's going to shoot us in the head with a laser. You think she's lying.
A dart just takes you out.
Yeah.
Got mouse ears. They're like the Kakamora. They're everywhere.
Gosh, they broke an NDA. Oh boy! Yeah, when it was ever present for my generation, I came out the same year Star Wars came out, so I grew up quoting the movies, and I remember there were all these, because VHS was new technology back then, so there were all these re-releases in the theater, so I saw all those movies in the theater, and I remember seeing Return of the Jedi for the first time, which was such a big deal, because, you know, what was going to happen? What was going to happen to Han Solo? What was going to happen to Luke? And what was that whole thing with I am your father? And I remember as a little kid, you know, when Obi-Wan's like, he's more machine now than man, twisted and evil. And I remember pulling my legs up from the, you know, like, and just kind of cradling myself because I was terrified at the evil that this Anakin Skywalker guy had gotten himself into. And those were profound experiences for a young person. And so growing up, I just never let it go. Me and my friends never let it go. We played the Star Wars role-playing game from like 7th grade. The West End Games, you guys remember that? West End Games. Battlestar Galactica. I mean, look, they're both pretty cool. So yeah, you know, we were always interfacing with Star Wars, and it was always something that we would talk about. We would be creating theories and all these things, and eventually I still get to use those same theories and those same ideas that we came up with when we were kids or when we were in high school in making this stuff. And so yeah, it's just been ever present. My friends and family like that I'm part of this.
All right, this one's from Allison. She wants to know from everybody, what color would your lightsaber be, but for you, not your character?
Oh.
Blue. Pale blue. Episode 4 blue. Pale blue.
Well, I've answered various versions of this, so I'm trying to think of something new, and I just had this image of what if I turned on my lightsaber and instead of a lightsaber, it was just like a big hologram of my dog's face. And that would make me really happy, because I'm thinking specifically of Arthur Miller, the pug pit bull mix, and he's the most ridiculous dog ever. So what if you like had a lightsaber and people are like, oh no, what's she gonna do? And then like his big dumb face just comes out.
You would definitely get the first hit on everybody.
Yeah, right? The element of surprise. That's my answer this time.
You can't follow up from that. Blue or pink or something. Best answer ever.
You're not going to answer it?
Definitely like gold, like, you know.
Yeah.
Can I change mine to dog face as well?
I'm trying to think, because like Emily, I've answered this a lot of times, but I feel like...
But last time you manifested the answer.
I did. I said I would make it rainbow colored, and somebody was like, we have those, Katie. I turned on, I was like, oh my God, they have it. It's like rainbow bright. What if you had a lightsaber or a dark saber, that when you turned it on, it was just water? But like a super soaker? But like a jet. Like if you know, like a really
Like a pressure washer.
yeah, but like and like a chainsaw. So it was going around like super fast. So like it could cut your hand off.
Okay.
Not to make any jokes, or cut you in half.
Yeah, if the pressure was high enough, yeah, you could definitely like do the link.
You could, right?
Working that out.
Yeah, and if it had different speeds, it'd be amazing.
Just pick a color.
Yeah, but
That's my color.
that's the thing.
Color.
Just by taking a little bit of food additive, food dye, you could make it any color
Good.
by adding it to the
It's
water.
like it's kind of like you could make it like a dipstick. Like you dip it into sugar and
You could dip it in chocolate or double dip it.
A chainsaw, dipstick, pressure washer,
Chocolate covered
Because you could
dog.
chocolate fountain.
yeah.
I have such severe.
And now, here's the cool thing about that. If you go to Hoth, you now have an ice saber, which is the color of ice, which is really cool. It's pale blue.
Really cool. It's pale blue.
Yeah.
See, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You can't get that 5 minutes back.
I can't follow that.
I'm so glad it's.
I guess it would be, when I was a kid, there was this like 50 pack of Crayola crayons you could get, and we never had it as a kid because it was just too fancy. It had its own built-in sharpener.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that tech. But there was one you could get in there that was like burnt umber or something. Yeah, which was only in that pack, so that's what I'd want my lightsaber to be. I'm trying to get back to that, 50 pack of Crayolas. Yeah, color, yeah.
Olive drab.
You guys are so creative. Gosh. For me, I'm going to stick with indigo purple. There you go. Higher chakras go like this. That's for higher.
Dragon Con color.
Yes. Yeah.
Dragon.
Samuel Jackson like that
All
color
right.
too. So there. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to go and get a couple of questions from the line over here. So we do have a good line, and we want to make sure that we get as many as we can. Go ahead.
Hey to Simon, pleasure meeting you last night. Maybe an insider set question for the Mandalorians. Is there a separate armor kit that you wear for close-ups and talking scenes compared to what they're fighting in the dynamic combat?
Yes. Oh. Could you imagine? I took up all my time on my water. There's different ones, yeah. So there's different ones depending on, like, I had different suits because every time I had to do anything cool, I would do knee slides and then I'd rip the knees out of my suit. So then we had to, like, retire that one and we'd pull it out when it was going to get beat up again. And but mostly wigs. So we had, like, a close-up wig that was more expensive than, like, my wig that I was, like, mean to, like my helmet wig. Because, like,
You got like a hair upgrade for season 3.
I did. Well, because I was meant to just be a guest star, right? And so they don't spend a ton of they spend money, but not a ton of money on you because they're like, I don't know if she's going to stick around. So my wig was more expensive season 3. And I had multiple wigs.
Fight wig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bo's hair always looks incredible.
It does.
Yeah.
There's little droids inside her helmet. Constantly fixing her hair. They're like the Ugnaughts, but like smaller.
You know, I was constantly impressed, I don't know if impressed is the
Ugnaughts,
word,
excuse me.
perplexed by how, like, Ugnaughts, how so much of the fighting was done in armor that was really not built for fighting. And I say this as the armorer, so I guess it's my fault. But, like, and I guess it speaks to money too. You know, there would be these, like, the best fighting was done by, like, a lot of the background actors who were trained fighters, except for the trained fighters like Diana, who were in the foreground. And Diana helped me out. She trained me. But, like, it was just comical whenever there'd be a battle scene, because anyone who wears a helmet knows that, like, you're gonna get fogged up if you start breathing heavily. So these guys would be out there, like, in the sand, in the heat, their visors fogged up, there's, like, pieces falling off everywhere. There was one scene where I did not do my stunt because it required, like, flipping upside down, and my stunt double, who was Jessie Graff for that one, who's such a badass, she did this beautiful take, but her helmet fell off, so they couldn't use that. But it was hilarious to me, like, how much the armor just fell off all the time. What? Preach. Yeah, I mean, I really should be looking at my quality control as the armorer, but to be fair, she is one woman making armor for everybody. She really needs some help. It's not always going to be durable.
We have time for maybe one or two more questions. We're going to take them from the line over here, so we've got some younger fans that want to ask some. Go ahead.
What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Empire Strikes Back.
Return of the Jedi or Rogue One.
I would say Rogue One, Empire Strikes Back for me.
Original Star Wars. Luke blowing up the Death Star still gives me chills every time.
Yeah, I'd say A New Hope for me, I would say.
Yeah, A New Hope, because, you know, for the price of like $10 and a ham sandwich, he created Star Wars. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you take nothing and at the end of it, you have a Star Wars movie.
Agreed.
You know? Like think about the fact that, like, most movies are lucky if they have one good idea. Like, you guys seen Krull? Here's the pitch. Here's the elevator pitch for Krull. They're like, you know what's cool? What? Well, do you like knives? I love knives. What about boomerangs? Yeah. Well, what if it was like a boomerang made of knives? And he can throw it.
Katie's lightsaber.
Yeah. It's made of water, but it's a boomerang made of knives. And like, oh my God, that's amazing. We're gonna make $1 million. Cool. And then like someone else comes in and they're like, hey, we're gonna make a movie, but it's about a space dog. And they have one good idea, right, that they make a movie out of. George is like,
check this out. There's laser swords and space wizards. And then there's an empire with Imperial Star Destroyers and TIE fighters who are protecting a Death Star. And the dog drives the ship. Han only looks like he drives the ship. And then you have Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's like a space samurai in the middle of Tatooine Jawas. And I've got like 75 other ideas. You guys lose. And,
like, how did he get all those ideas and he throws them all into one movie, but then when you get all that information of, like,
there's the Clone Wars, and then you have to understand the Empire and the Senate has been disbanded. And it's very important to understand that it's no moon, it's actually a space station.
You know, and you're just like, but all of this information feels breezy and inevitable rather than confusing. You know, whereas with Crawl, they're like, it's a boomerang made of knives. And you throw it, and it hits the guy, and then it comes back, and Liam Neeson's like, in it. Crawl. We did it, guys, $1 million.
George is like, you guys got nothing.
So that's why episode 4, like, it started with nothing.
I mean,
And it ended with...
started with episode 4.
There's 3 other episodes. It's gonna blow your mind. There's actually negative episodes. Like episode -5 is like the one that I've been really waiting for the technology to catch up to.
The Kroll guy's leaving. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
No, I love Crawl.
love it.
I love Crawl.
All right.
Come on, the Blind Seer, the Cyclops, and a Cyclops. It was cool.
All right, let's get one more if we can, and then we're gonna finish up.
Who has been your favorite actor to work with?
In general? In general?
In general.
Just in general?
In general. In general? In general.
In general? In general? In general.
Anyone kind of favorite?
Everybody.
Say.
That's a hard question.
We can all name each other. How about that?
Oh my God.
You know, the reason this question is hard to answer is that we've all been really lucky to work with really cool, nice people.
Yeah.
Like what they were saying about Carl Weathers. I mean, you know, there's all these wonderful experiences. I think that we've all kind of learned that some of the more talented people that we look up to, you know, the whole thing of never meet your heroes because they might disappoint you. I feel like I've been really lucky.
Yeah.
You know, like when we met Edward James Olmos, and you know,
What show is that?
That was Black Together. There are half the people in here are like, I've never seen it.
she actually hasn't. But you know, Eddie is, you know, it's very much like this. And then when you meet him off stage, he's like, hey, how are you doing? Come on in. Just very sweet people, very, very cool people.
Yeah, I was really lucky and sort of spoiled early on because my very first series regular thing on a show that went nowhere, it was a show called Monday Mornings, this medical drama that lasted 1 season. It was Sanjay Gupta and David E. Kelly. It should have been great, but it was
Monday Mornings.
Monday Mornings, yeah. No, it's an unfortunate title, but like Alfred Molina was on that show and Ving Rhames and all these people who like similar to with Carl, I guess. Like at first I was very intimidated, and then I saw Alfred be the most gracious, kind, collaborative person. And so I feel like, you know, of course there's some people out there who live up to the like stereotype of being the diva star, but I think by and large, like most people aren't. You don't keep working. People don't want to work with you. So I agree. Like I feel like most of us have been really lucky to work with good people. Unfortunately, I did assume from that first one that it would always be like that, and it's not. No. But that's the rarity.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, you know, especially this job, I think Star Wars has just been such a collective, you know, from all of us to all of you, I would say as well, you know, coming to these things and all around the world. I mean, you get to be part of something so much bigger than just any one person. So when we were on set, I think that sort of, you know, enveloped us all. I've never had a job that's felt so collectively giddy. I think everyone that works there is so, like, you get into the makeup, the truck, the trailers, like, the level of geekdom from tattoos on people to, you know, it's just incredible. It's like nothing I've ever experienced. So yeah, I mean, you know, when you meet other actors that are as knowledgeable and passionate and excitable, no one was more excitable than me when I first met Katie. But yes, yeah, other than that, Battlestar Galactica.
It's true. On the first time I met Simon, he was at work and he...
If I had a tail, I would have wagged it.
You guys, I have never seen somebody so excited to be at work, and he just had so much energy. Monday morning. How could I not excited to be there? And I was like so excited to be there, but he was like really excited to be there. Like, really excited. And I went home and my husband was like, how was work today? And I was like, who's this guy?
It's going to be difficult.
And I can't decide if I like him or if he's just really annoying.
And here we are.
Here we are. No, but we became like such good friends because I was like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
I love him. He's so committed.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
But that's the thing though, so that it goes back to what you were saying, is that I think that every person I work with now that is a joy to work with, who shows up on time, who's prepared, wants to be there, is a kind person, and is like just humble and understands that like we are so blessed to have the job that we have.
Yeah.
That is my favorite person of the day. Like, I love those people because it frees you up to be your best when you're surrounded by people who are just loving their job. And so that's special because they're not all like it.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, I think we're so aware how fortunate we are when we're on a set like Star Wars, in whatever capacity that is, and it continues every day.
I think for me, I absolutely concur exactly with what you're saying. One of the things I will say, as a side note, I was so excited to meet Jon Favreau. For me, and the reason why is he was to me a beacon of hope as an actor that was able to expand and evolve by writing and directing and producing. Where would we be without John and Dave, in my opinion, for The Mandalorian? And so to meet John, to have him greet me when I first arrived on set, and I didn't even know what my role was. I didn't even know the name of my character until months later, but he was the first to greet me and then introduce me to Dave. And I'll never forget that moment because he had me at Swingers, as an indie filmmaker. And that was an amazing joy and coincidence for me because that's what inspired me to write, direct, and produce and star in my little independent film 10 years earlier, which is how I got discovered for this. But I will say, on my first day at set, kind of like I had to do a wardrobe fitting and a wig fitting, and I felt like this little girl in a high school cafeteria, and the first person to say, "Hi, who are you? What's your name?" was Katie. And it just was so great, just the energy of all these people. I remember it was Katie that first greeted me in the makeup hair room, and I'll never forget that because I was such a shy, little kid at heart. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
For me, real quick, I'll just say, I'll reiterate everything you all said, that Star Wars definitely feels like it is bigger than any one of us. And so when you're there, you definitely have everybody on their sort of best behavior, feeling really good about being there. And even when I hire folks that I work with in my sound team, I have such a great set of resumes of people, and they all want to just put their best foot forward into something that's much larger than all of us. It's all this energy that you're bringing to us right now too, that it affects that whole situation. And then, a couple standouts in the voice world. I love working with David Tennant, who plays Hu Yang.
Yes.
Amazing, talented, kind, like just all the things wrapped into one. And then the other funny story is one time when we were doing Force Awakens, my edit room where I was working had the best television that I had brought in there. JJ was like, "Hey, someone's going to come in to watch the first cut of the film. I'm busy. Do you mind hosting him?" No problem. And take notes if he has any notes, and just kind of, I want to hear what he has to say. Great. So I'm sitting there walking in and just waiting, and in comes Harrison Ford.
Wow.
Yeah. And that, I mean, as I say, we're all serving Star Wars. This man sort of is Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's old world, incredible, like a Humphrey Bogart magnetism, amazing. But he was so kind and funny, hilarious sense of humor. He sat there quiet as we started the film, and as soon as Ray came on, I saw he had this notepad, and he was like, he started to roll it up in his hand, and I'm sitting behind him. I wanted to be out of his eye line. And he's rolling this up, and Ray has her first scene, and he just turns and he goes, hits me on the leg, and he's like, "She's gonna be hot shit." That's amazing. take a look at that, incredible. And he just loved the movie, and he was just raving about everything in it, and he was like kept just making jokes and like, but completely disarming and incredibly like fun to work with. But yeah, Harrison Ford.
Guys, thank you so much for being here with us. Guys, make sure that you go on the DragonCon app, give us a rating. We like 5 stars. If it's a 1 star, keep your opinion to yourself. And how about the cast of Star Wars, guys? The Mandalorian? All of our friends? Make sure you guys go and donate to our charity, Miami, Georgia. One more big hand for these guys. They deserve it. If we didn't get to your question, go to the Walk of Fame. These guys would love to see you there. Have a great